verse number 48. Right? Tattvam asyadi vakyeshu lakshana bhaga lakshana soyam ityadi vakyastha padayorivana para. The only kind of explanation by implication that may be employed in interpreting sentences like thou art that is that in which one part of the direct meaning of each of the two words thou and that is left out while the other is retained. In such cases, no other kind of explanation by implication can be availed of. Example, the case of the two words he and this in the sentence he is this. One part of the direct meaning of each word is left out while the other is retained. What did you get out of that? All right, but we have reached the heart of the matter here. Let me explain what was just said. I promise you it will become very clear when I say what's going on here. So we have the sentence, that thou art, tat tvam asi. And we have come to the understanding that and thou, tat and tvam, the direct meanings of them, they are contradictory. They don't go together. If the two meanings don't go together, yet the sentence is meaningful, somehow there's some meaning, it's not contradictory, it's not crazy, then we have to take implied meaning. It's crazy to say the Swami bought the mango and ate the mango, and if you mean by the mango the entire mango, it's contradictory. But when you take the implied meaning, it's easy. The Swami bought the whole fruit, left out the skin and the seed, and ate the flesh. But he used the same word, mango, for both of them. So we are going to take an implied meaning, and I want to give us the sense that this whole business of direct meaning and implied meaning is not some esoteric stuff, it's something that we do all the time in our common usage. So that's all that Shankaracharya is asking us to do. Take the implied meaning. And why this implied meaning? If there is something to be stated, why couldn't the Upanishad state it directly? Because remember, what we are talking about cannot be directly expressed by language. So it has only to be indicated at. So what's being indicated? Implied meaning. Now you have to take an implied meaning. We can't say Tattvamasi means God is man, or you man, you are God. No. How can we take an implied meaning so that it makes sense? And what that implied meaning is also we know. What's the implied meaning? Where is Tattvamasi the same? Where is it one and non-dual? Consciousness, pure consciousness, in that sense only. Now, the implied meaning can be of multiple types. There are three types of implied meaning. So now we have a choice of which type of implied meaning we have to take. And I assure you all this is necessary to understand what was just said. We are going to take implied meaning of the sentence Tattvamasi, which means we are going to take implied meaning of each of the words. Implied meaning of Tvam, you. Implied meaning of Tat, that. And the implied meaning of the whole sentence. But implied meaning is also of three types. And we have to choose which type of implied meaning fits here. What are the three types of implied meaning? I'll give you the terms, don't be scared, I'll explain. They're pretty simple. Jahat Lakshana, Ajahat Lakshana, Jahadajad Lakshana. Jahat Lakshana, the first type of implied meaning means where the original meaning, the direct meaning is discarded and another meaning is taken in its place. The direct meaning is discarded and another meaning is taken in its place. The second one, the Ajahat Lakshana, is where the original meaning is retained and something else is added to it to make the whole thing meaningful. And the third one is where a part of the original meaning is retained and a part of the original meaning is discarded, and then you get the meaning of the whole sentence. The first one, let's see. Jahat Lakshana, where you give up the original meaning and take another meaning so that the implied meaning, it makes sense. An example would be, the classical example I can only give that it's the village of the cowherds is in the Ganga. It's a Sanskrit, as an example taken in Sanskrit. Gangayam Ghosha. Actually, there is in old Indian cities, even we have seen that there would be a section of the city where the milkmen would stay, so they would have the cow sheds. Modern cities, it's not permitted to have livestock in the middle of the city, but you had cow sheds and they would milk the cows and they would go out. We have seen in those in the bicycles with cans of milk and go and deliver milk everywhere. So that's the colony, the place where the cowherds stay. That's called Ghoshapalli. Now somebody says Gangayam Ghosha. The colony of the cowherds, the village of the cowherds is in the Ganga. It doesn't make sense. How can a colony be in the middle of the Ganga? It's a stream of water. It will get washed away. But we all know what it means. When you say Stratford on Avon, the house of Shakespeare. If you go to England, they'll say go and see the house of Shakespeare. Where is it? It's on the river Avon. But how can the house be on the river? But everybody knows what it means. It's on the bank of the river Avon River. It's on the bank of the river. I remember seeing one of the early letters written by Swami Vivekananda. He's writing to somebody from Belur Mutt, and the address is Belur on Ganges. Belur on Ganges. But what is Belur on? How can a monastery be on the Ganga? It means it's on the bank of the Ganga. Everybody knows. So the implied meaning of in the Ganga or on the Ganga is bank of the Ganga. You give up the meaning of the word Ganga. What is the meaning of the word Ganga? River. That river. You give it up entirely. Take something, it can't be something entirely different. You can't say Belur on Ganga means not on the Ganga but it's on the Mississippi. You can't say that. It has to be on the bank of the Ganga. So Belur on Ganga, Stratford on Avon means the monastery is on the bank of the river Ganga, or the Shakespeare's house is on the bank of the river Avon, or in our example, the village of the cowherds is on the bank of the river Ganga, not in the Ganga. Now can we take this meaning for Tattvamasi, for Tvam, for the individual being? Remember, our problem is the contradictions, because you and man and God cannot be one because it's entirely contradictory. Can we resolve the contradictions by giving up the original meaning, by saying you are not you, forget all about yourself, God, you are God. You can't do that. That makes no meaning. Even worse, God is not God, God is you, the person Sarvapriyananda. That's also crazy. If you abandon the original meaning and take a different meaning, then our purpose is not served. It's useless to say, oh, your properties are contradicting with God's properties, so forget yourself entirely. God, you are God, and you are not you at all. Meaningless. Worse, God is not God, God is a human being. Even worse. It will become an identity, but it's a crazy identity. So, because our point is that there is some part of the meaning you and some part of the meaning God where it matches pure consciousness. We are not here to abandon that pure consciousness also. If you abandon the entire meaning of you, if you abandon the entire meaning of God, you have thrown out the baby with the bathwater. What is the baby? Pure consciousness. You want to say, I am pure consciousness. We want to reach there. So, the first implied meaning, which is by abandoning the original meaning, will not apply here. In a few words, one way of getting a meaning out of this sentence is by abandoning the original meaning and forcing them together. But you can't apply that here. So Jahat Lakshana will not do. Jahat Lakshana means implied meaning by abandoning original meaning. There is another way. Ajahat Lakshana, you retain the original meaning and add something to make it okay. So the classic example that's given in our texts is Shona Dhavati. Look, the red is running. Or the red one is running. But red is a color. Of course, the color can run also, like red paint can run. But the color itself, how can a color run? They mean that in the races, the red horse is winning, Shona Dhavati, you see, the red is winning. You mean the red horse is winning. So you have to add Ashwa, horse. Keep the meaning red, add the word Ashwa, Shona Ashwa Dhavati, the red horse is running or the red horse is winning. Then the sentence makes sense. You understand the context. It's somebody is watching, people are watching the races. So they were a racy bunch in those days, the non-dualists. They used to go to the horse races. It reminds me of a slightly, not totally unrelated story. Swami Trigunatitananda, he came from India and he took charge of the Vedanta Society in San Francisco. And those days he needed to get a Western dress to wear in public. Being a Swami, he went out looking for the cheapest possible dress. And then he came back with a very loud colored coat, and very proudly wearing it. This lady who is to be like the lady who managed the whole ashram, an American lady, elderly, very kindly but firm. She said, Swami, you can't wear that in public. It's what the people who go to the races, they wear, who bet on horses, they wear that when they go to the races. You can't wear that in public. So she forbade him to wear it outside. But he couldn't, he liked it so much he couldn't abandon it. So he used to wear it and walk back and forth in the ashram, inside the ashram. So Shona Ashwa Dhavati. Can you add something to make it okay? Now what's our problem? I am small, miserable, little knowledge, subject to birth and death and disease and sorrow and anxiety. How can I make this okay? Well, you add a little God to yourself, like add the horse to the red, and then it makes sense. So if I add Tat and Tvam, to you I add the Tat. You add the omniscience, omnipotence and all of that to you, the individual. Won't that be okay? But that's exactly like retaining the old socks in your pocket and adding new socks. I may get many qualities from God, but if I actually retain my mortality, my sinfulness, my limitedness, my subject to karma, the problem remains. By adding something, you can't solve my problem. My problem is my limitation. Keep my limitation, add some more goodies, it still be a limited being. So the Ajahat Lakshana will not work. Without giving up the original meaning, you add something else. Will it solve your problem? It will not work. Just remember the examples. Gangayam Ghoshaha, the colony of the Ghoshas in the Ganga, or Belur on Ganga, that's one. That won't work for us. Shona Dhavati, red is running, red horse is running. That won't work for us. The third option is what we are driving towards. It's called Jahat Ajahat Lakshana. Implied meaning where you retain, you give up and retain. You give up part of the meaning and you retain part of the meaning. And this is what we want. What is the example here? Soyam Devadatta. This is that Devadatta. Devadatta is just some guy. This is that Devadatta. This is the same Devadatta, the same person I saw 20 years ago. I am seeing him today. I saw him in Mumbai. I am seeing him in Calgary. He was young. He is old now. He had a full head of hair now. He is bald now. But I say, this is that Devadatta. We have this experience once in a while. You run into somebody you have seen. This is an example. Now notice, what are you doing when you say, this is that Devadatta? This is the same guy. You these characteristics are contradictory. Past and present, 20 years ago and today. The places are contradictory, Mumbai and Calgary. The features are contradictory, young guy, old guy, full head of hair, balding. They are contradictory, but we easily leave them out and we say, insist, it's the same person. We do that all the time. We leave out incidental characteristics and we say the person is the same. A bit like the emperor is the beggar. So, all contradictory problems, the characteristics are easily left out. They don't matter. And the person is the same. Exactly like that, can we apply this to Tattvamasi? And the answer is yes, we can. God and man, Tat and Tvam, are exactly the same. How? Forget omniscience and knowing everything and knowing little. Forget being immortal and being born and dying. Forget being small and being vast. Forget being directly experienced, I am here, God is remote and based on faith. Forget those things. Both are the same pure consciousness. Tattvamasi. Pure consciousness is what is meant by Tattvamasi. By Tat, I am leaving out, by Tvam, by you, I am leaving out body, mind, causal body, I am taking only consciousness, witness, Sakshi. By Tat, God, I am leaving out Maya, cosmic mind, cosmic body, I am taking only pure consciousness. Then you see, Tattvamasi is exactly the same thing. Does it solve our problem? Yes, it does. Because it is only that consciousness which is real. It is only the actor who is real. You can't solve the question, the beggar is the emperor. You can't solve it by saying, can the emperor lend a few clothes to the beggar, then the beggar will become the emperor? No, it's not a beggar, not an emperor. For God's sake, it's only the actor. Leave God out of it. Leave the human characteristics out of it. See that it's one consciousness appearing in these ways. You are that consciousness. That's the meaning of Tattvamasi. That's all. Now let's see. You'll see this whole big mouthful will immediately make sense. The text which we did just now, verse number 48. Tattvamasyadi vakyeshu. Tattvamasi, that thou art, Adi, etc. What is etc.? The other Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. I am Atma Brahma. This very self is Brahman. Prajnanam Brahma, consciousness is Brahman. All those. In all these cases, you need to take an implied meaning. But what kind of implied meaning? First type, second type, third type, Jahat Lakshana, Ajahat Lakshana, Jahat Ajahat Lakshana. He says, Lakshana, implied meaning. What is the implied meaning? Bhaga Lakshana. Bhaga Lakshana is another name for Jahat Ajahat Lakshana. Partial. Take the part of the meaning and leave part of the meaning out, which we just did. Example, please give me an example. I don't understand what you are going on about. Soyam Mityadi Vakyastha. Just like Soyam Devadatta. This is that Devadatta. Take that example. The example, this is that Devadatta. Forget the Devadatta that he was this was young, now is old. He was in Mumbai, now is in Calgary. That was 20 years ago, this is now. Forget all that. Just see the person is the same. Similarly, here you forget omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. You forget that he is pervading the universe. Here you see that little knowledge, powerless, pervading only one body. Forget those things. Those are appearances. Consciousness is one. It is one consciousness. Soyam ityadi vakyastha padayoriva napara. Just as the words sa, he, I am this is the same. He, that Devadatta is this Devadatta. He, that and this. The way you took the meaning, similarly take the meaning of Tat Tvamasi, that you are. That means basically take the partial implication, implied meaning, the partial meaning, jahat ajahat lakshana. That's the meaning of this. Aham brahmeti vakyartha, aham brahmeti vakyartha, bodho yavadridhi bhavet, bodho yavadridhi bhavet, samadhi sahitastavad, samadhi sahitastavad, abhyaset shravanadikam, abhyaset shravanadikam. Teaching is complete now. What do I do? What do I do now? We have been taught the meaning of Tattvamasi. What should be our realization? Not Tattvamasi. The Guru says, you are that, and we realize, oh, you are that Guru. No. I should realize, I am that. I am Brahman. There's a book, I Am That, Nisargadatta's teachings. So we should realize, I am Brahman. So it says, as one should go on studying the Shrutis and thinking over the meanings as well as practicing the control of the internal organ and other virtues until the right understanding of the meaning of the sentence, I am Brahman, becomes quite firm. I am Brahman. Well, just a minute. Aren't we supposed to be studying that thou art? Where did this I am Brahman come from? It's the same meaning, but it's supposed to be our realization. When we have studied this, when we have been taught that thou art, our realization should be I am Brahman. But until that becomes clear and firm, first of all, understanding intellectually. Some of you are looking quite puzzled at this point. Don't worry, you have to keep at it. He is telling you what to do. Until that understanding becomes firm, clear. Just like I am Sarvapriyananda is quite firm. Like that, and even more so, reflexively, naturally, I am Brahman, limitless awareness. And that becomes, until that becomes firm, what should one do? Abhyaset shravanadikam. Practice shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Stay with this. Study the Vakya Vritti, study other texts, study the Upanishads, Gita, Brahma Sutras, the Vedantic texts. They all tell you the same thing. What you learned here, you won't learn one more thing in any other Vedantic text. Everything will tell you the same thing. You are Brahman. Keep on studying. And what else? Keep on thinking about it. Where am I getting stuck? At every step it can be explained. Getting stuck means there is a knot somewhere. It has to be unfurled. It has to be untangled. So keep on untangling those knots, thinking through it, asking others, thinking yourself. And then after the thinking, nididhyasana. That means I have got the information, I have got the understanding also. Now let me stay with that understanding. Result will be aham brahmeti vakyartha. This I am Brahman will become clear at one point. This is a clear breakthrough. It's like the veils falling from your eyes, and you say, oh, this is it. It's always there. How come I didn't see it? It's not very complex also. It's very direct and very simple. Once you have got it, you have got it. You don't have to make any more effort after that. Swami Vivekananda says it's like a trick picture. You've seen those trick pictures, they look like a mass of dots. But somebody tells you there is a forest and there is a lion there. Can you see carefully? Once you see, oh, the patterns fall, the dots fall into a pattern, and you see there is a bush and there is a face of a lion hidden there. You get it. Swami Vivekananda says it's like a trick picture. Once you have seen it, you can never be fooled again. So once you make the breakthrough, once it falls into place, oh, I see, this is what it means. And that knowledge sets you free. You can then go on applying that knowledge in every situation of life and see, it's perfectly all right. Samadhi sahita. This Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, study, hearing, the reflection and meditation should be done on the basis of the fourfold qualifications which he started with. He is pointing us back to the beginning. He started with that. Student comes with equipped with fourfold qualification. Say, I am doing all this, I am attending retreats, I am listening to tapes and YouTube talks, I am even thinking about it once in a while. Not working. Why not working? It's because of the lack in those initial fourfold conditions. The discernment between eternal and non-eternal, the dispassion towards the non-eternal, the strict discipline of the sixfold treasure, and the intense desire for freedom. Strengthen those. Stick to Vedantic study until it becomes crystal clear and effortlessly clear. After that, you don't have to maintain it with any effort. I studied a lot of physics, but if I don't keep reading regularly, I'll forget. No, it's not like that. It's you. How are you going to forget it? Then he says, what will happen upon enlightenment? Shrutyacharya prasadena dridho bodho yada bhavet nirasta shesha samsara nidana purushastada. When this knowledge becomes firm by the grace of the Shruti and the teacher, one has the cause of the whole of this transmigrated existence absolutely negated forever. What is the cause of all this problem? Ignorance. Ignorance of who am I. That ignorance goes away when the knowledge arises. How will the knowledge arise? With the help of Shruti, text, the Upanishads, but also the text based on Upanishad, like this, and the grace of the Guru, the teacher. By the grace of the teacher and the text, the knowledge will arise and it will wipe out my ignorance, and I will realize that I am Brahman forever. So there is no backseas. You see, no backseas, that it's not taken back. On one side, the good news is, once you go through these, once the enlightenment dawns upon us, it's forever. You need not be afraid that maybe in some other life there will be another life and I'll be trapped again, I'll forget all this. That nothing will like that will happen. Also, the other side of it is, you can't become unenlightened again. Once you walk through these doors, it's over. The game of life is over. For the lifetime after lifetime, we are in this little whirlpool of samsara. That's over. You are set free. But then you can't walk back through this door. Once having seen, you can't unsee anymore. It's done forever. So no hurry, unless you want enlightenment and freedom straight away. You cannot. Practically, what does that mean? I remember Swami Ranganathanandaji, the 13th president of our order. I still remember him saying, well, if you consider yourself enlightened, you have lost the right to grumble. I mean, he put it this way: as a sadhu, you should not grumble. To grumble, to criticize, to bemoan my fate, you have lost all those rights immediately. You can't claim to be enlightened and still whine. So think well upon it before you become enlightened. Before that, you can whine about all sorts of things. People are not nice to me, I wish I had more money, my health is not good, my health insurance is not good. And what about spirituality? Well, I am not enlightened yet, I can whine about that also. But once you are enlightened, none of that. You can't whine about anything, you can't grumble or complain about anything. Once that realization dawns, then what is the result? Verse number 51, 52 and 53 is the result of all of this. Vishirna karya karano bhuta sukshmairanabritaha vimukta karma nigada sadya eva vimuchyate Such a man, his gross and subtle body is dissolved, freed from the subtle elements and released from the chain of actions, gets immediately liberated. This is called Jivan Mukti. The moment this realization dawns upon you, by this consistent, listening to the truth, reasoning about it, meditating upon it, the moment this enlightenment dawns upon you, Vishirya karya karano bhuta sukshme ranavrita. Body is there, mind is there. There means they are appearing, but you realize they are appearances. This is technically called badha. Literally it means dissolved. The body, physical body, subtle body, causal body dissolved. Dissolved doesn't mean after enlightenment you will dissolve into a puddle. That would be terrible. You just step into something icky and gooey there, and eek, what was that? That was a person, he became enlightened, so he is just a puddle now. His physical body and subtle body have dissolved. No, dissolved means you realize you are Brahman, and this same Brahman is appearing as a physical body, as a subtle body. It's not very difficult to understand. Think about a dream. In a dream, if you realize that you are dreaming, immediately what happens? You are there in a dream, people are sitting and you have a body, but you realize this body, this mind, this world, it's all an appearance in me, the dreaming, in me, the dreamer. It's not actually a body, a physical thing. They are all appearances in consciousness. That's what it means. This is called badha, negation, or there's a more technical term used, sublation. Sublation. It continues to appear as it did earlier. It works like it used to work earlier. Everything is just the way it was in the world outside. But you realize it's not real. It's an appearance in consciousness. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahme Vanapara. Consciousness alone, infinite existence consciousness is alone real. The world, universe, this body and mind, all are appearances. What about you? You are that infinite consciousness. You are that reality. That realization comes. And this is freedom. Vimukta. Sadhya eva vimuchyate. Freed now. You don't have to wait for death of the body. Right now. Here. You are freed. Freed from what? He says specifically freed from the causality, the bounds of karma. Swami Vivekananda said, good, bad, none escape the law. Whosoever wears a form wears the chain too. But far beyond is Atman ever free. Know thou art that. Tattvamasi. Know thou art that. Sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. This person has realized I am the Atman. By the teaching Tattvamasi. And this is called Jivan Mukti. Sometimes the question arises, why all this at all? So Swami Turiyananda gives a unique answer. He says, I used to think, why if Brahman, there is a perfection called Brahman, pure existence, consciousness, bliss, that's all that there could have been. Why this manifestation of this universe? And he says, the answer that satisfied me was when I read Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti Hetave Manushya Janma Dharanam. That means it is to enjoy the unique bliss of liberated in life that we are born in this way, that this whole creation exists. The whole point of this is liberation. Unless you assume a kind of bondage and the world and everything, you will not get to this point. So this, it might not be convincing to you, but he found it very convincing. Because he was a Jivan Mukta and he saw the unique bliss and joy and the extraordinary life of Jivan. He said, this is worth it. Every bit of it is worth it. You might say it might be worth it for you. What about everybody else who is suffering? Well, everybody will come to this point one day or the other. And they will say it was all worth it. So this is Jivan Mukti. What remains? Swami Vivekananda himself writes, what remains after this? He says, thus day by day, till karma's power spent, release the body forever. heed no more than how body lives or dies. Its task is done. At that point you heed no more how body lives or dies. Its task is done. Panchadashi Vidyaranya Swami says, Praptavya praptataya, kartavya kritataya, gyatavya gyatataya. Having got what has to be got in life, which life? All lives. The point of what you really wanted in life, you have got it, it's fulfilled. Having done what has to be done in human life, having known what has to be known really, that knowing which everything becomes known, this is the accomplishment. It's done forever, once for all. So this is Jivan Mukti. Swami Vivekananda says, heed then no more how body lives or dies, its task is done, let karma float it down. Go thou from place to place and help them out of Maya's veil. So that will be your life. You live the life of an enlightened, and there are no more rules after that for you. Because you have achieved what has to be achieved, you are set free. So that is Jivan Mukti. What else remains? There is something called Videha Mukti. This body will finally drop off one day. The prarabdha karma will be over, this body will drop off. Not that it makes any difference to you, you are Brahman. From perspective of others, they will weep and wail, oh, the enlightened one is gone. So the last part is Videha Mukti. It's telling you your future, what's going to happen to each of us. Prarabdha karma vegena, prarabdha karma vegena, jivan mukto yada bhavet, jivan mukto yada bhavet, kimcha tatkalam, wait a minute, kinchit kalam manarabdha, kinchit kalam manarabdha, karma bandhasya sangshaye, karma bandhasya sangshaye, nirastatishayanandam, vaishnavam paramam padam, vaishnavam paramam padam, punaravrittirahitam, punaravrittirahitam, Kaivalyam pratipadyate, Kaivalyam pratipadyate. On the destruction of the bondage due to the actions that have not begun to produce results, a man remains by force of those actions which have begun to produce them, liberated in life for some time, and when he comes by absolute oneness, the greatest and ultimate bliss called the supreme abode of Vishnu, from which there is no return. So, Jivan Mukti, and this body will go on for a while, and you will be the liberated in life, the enlightened one, and then this body will die, because its prarabdha karma is exhausted. You are Brahman, you remain as Brahman. To you it's nothing. The movie has ended. The particular movie has ended. And you remain as infinite existence. So Jivan Mukta Yada Bhavet. For some time it will continue in this way, and then it's over. For you it's already over. Nirasta Atishayanandam Vaishnavam Paramam Padam. What glorious language. The transcendent abode of Vishnu. It's not some other heaven, it's you, your real nature. You attain to your nature. Nirasta Atishayanandam. It's such bliss, such fulfillment for which there is nothing higher, nothing beyond. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Yang ladva na chaparam labham manyate tato adhikam. Having attained which, there is no higher gain to be attained. Yasmin sthito dukkhena gurunapi na vichalyate. Settled in which, steadied in which, the enlightened one is not shaken by any sorrow. So sorrows will keep coming. It's all in the life of a Jivan Mukta. You are not shaken at all. And that also comes to an end. You attain the transcendent, non-dual reality. Brahman is here. It's called Vaishnavam Paramam Padam Punaravritti Rahitam Kaivalyam. void of any return. You go there from which nobody returns. No new Punara, no new edition will be there. There's a final edition. The series is concluded there. And you are set free. So it's an end. No. For the first time you are free. You become infinite. Now that human language really cannot grasp that. So it concludes here by saying, Iti Paramahamsa Paribrajaka Srimat Shankaracharya Virachita Vakya Vritti Samapta. Here ends the exposition of the sentence by Sri Shankara, the great teacher and wandering Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa is the highest order of monks, of non-dual monks. And Shankaracharya started those 10 orders of monks. We belong to one of them, the Puri Sampradaya. Yeah. Because Sri Ramakrishna's non-dual master was Totapuri. So Shankaracharya is at the root of that. All of this is an explanation of one little sentence, Tat Tvam Asi. So what we will do now is what is called an empowerment. That means we will now salute the Guru, who is none other than Brahman, which we talked about here. Brahman alone appears as the Guru. So the Guru as Brahman as the Guru, we will salute, and then we will salute Shankaracharya, we will salute Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda. Then I will tell you the teaching, this teaching, just a sentence. I'll tell you what to do, and then you will repeat back what I ask you to repeat back. You'll sit silently in meditation, and then it will conclude with an offering of. So I'm telling you, but it's a kind of not cool, but you'll come here and bow down to the Acharya, the teacher, and you make an offering, and then the remaining time, as you said, spend time in study and contemplation of Vedanta, cultivation of the qualities, until this blessed moment arrives that we are free. So this is basically what we have done now, is ceremonially transmitted. And this one is, of course, not at all, it's optional. So you may just sit back and watch, not repeat what I am saying, not do the ritualistic, the salutations and all, or you may participate if you like. All right. So, yes. We'll do a question answer. Do we have time for that? Yes. We have time. Good. In that case, before I start the ritual, let's have a few questions. We have got some time. We'll work our way this. Okay, first this way and then that way. Then the gentleman here. Yes. And then we'll go to that end. The gentleman there.
My name is Swagatam.
Swagatam.
My question is on Avasthataya Vichara. In the dream, we are not the Swapna Purush, we are the Swapna Drashta. But we feel we are the Swapna Purush. And in the dream, the Swapna Purush cannot really do anything to come out of the dream. He is stuck there. In the same way, on one hand it feels like the waker in the waking world is also stuck and he cannot really do anything to come out of it. But on the other hand, it feels like studying this and knowing this, nothing needs to be done. This knowledge is enough.
Right. So what he asked just now, in a dream, you are there in two ways actually. One is the guy in the dream. Suppose common anxiety, I'm going to miss the train or the bus or something like that. Or something at least Indian kids have all experienced. I'm sitting in the exam hall and I can't remember the answer to the question. Anxiety, examination anxiety. Now, you are the kid sitting in the examination hall, that's your experience. You are there, you are facing that problem, you are there. That's called the Swapna Purush, the being, the individual in the dream. But in truth, you are the dreamer, the one lying down in the bed and relaxed, no examination, no anxiety, nothing, you are dreaming it all up. Right? Now, in the dream, that one who is the individual sitting there inside the dream, that one cannot do anything to wake up from the dream. So similarly he says, like right now we are actually Brahman, in which this world is appearing as a dream, and we have ourselves entered this dream as individual being. So just like that guy in the dream cannot do anything to wake up, I also, it feels I can't do anything to wake up. So that's an interesting insight. That's why you always say enlightenment, God realization, all of that is not our effort. It comes to you from, so devotee will say it always comes by the grace of God, or Brahman reveals itself. The dreamer wakes up. But notice the being in the dream and the dreamer are one and the same being. It's the dreamer alone who is the being in the dream. And when the dreamer wakes up, is the being in the dream is gone, is absorbed back into the dreamer. Similarly, Brahman, or from the side of Brahman, Brahman reveals itself, true, but you are Brahman. So by your effort you cannot realize God. God's grace reveals it. But you are one with Brahman. So in one sense you are one and the same. A more philosophical version of this question would be, can anyone do anything from the level of dream to come back to the waking? Can anyone do anything from the level of samsara to come back to moksha? So I had an argument with a monk who is also a leading scientist, a mathematician, and I said, look, from a classical Vedanta perspective, this interest in science, science is part of Maya. This is a traditional Advaitin would say. Science is also part of Maya. It can investigate the world of appearances, and you can find out things and things can go on. But really it has nothing to say about the ultimate reality, Brahman. It's only through Advaita Vedanta that that's how classical Advaitins will stick to their position. So his answer was very interesting. I said that from the relative plane you can't go to the absolute. By investigating the relative you can't go to the absolute. Then his answer was very interesting. In Advaita Vedanta, what are you doing? Is Advaita Vedanta Brahman? Is it the absolute, or is it part of the relative plane? Your Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, your Vakya Vritti, where is it? In the relative plane, in Maya, in samsara. Sri Ramakrishna called it Vidya Maya, Avidya Maya. The Maya of ignorance and the Maya of knowledge. Still Maya, knowledge, but Maya of it's still Maya. So by this Maya of knowledge, from this state of appearances, you are going to the reality. You yourself, non-dualist, you claim, by this cultivation of this knowledge, you will become enlightened one day. So it is possible in principle to go from the relative to the absolute. If it's possible through Advaita Vedanta, why not through science? Maybe not today. So the doorway exists. And that's why Swami Vivekananda was very interested. So this is one comment. Yeah. I don't know if I fully answered your question. It is possible, and by the constant teaching of this to the Swapna Purusha, to the person who is dreaming, will wake up, because Swapna Purusha is identical to the Swapna Drashta. The more we investigate, see, the reality is immanent, it is here now. So it should be accessible to us. It's only hidden by ignorance. Then, yes. Then we'll go to the you had raised your hand there, right, at the back?
So this
Yeah. Next. You had raised your hand at the back. There. Yes. We'll come there. All right. Please ask the question.
Namaste Maharaj. Thank you very much for this wonderful spiritual treat. We are totally at a different level. Coming down is going to be difficult. I just have two short questions. One is, where does Ashtavakra Gita or Samhita, which is called, stand in relation to this text? Is it something similar? I've just had a glimpse of it and I find it pretty similar so far. That's one. And second is, essentially, we are devotees of, when we say we are devotees of Thakur and Swamiji, we are following the path of bhakti, or we are into the plane of duality. However convincing and however beautiful this sounds, it is still divorced from the concept of duality and bhakti and all that. So as spiritual seekers or aspirants, how do we marry these two concepts to make our journey more powerful and more effective?
Good. What's your name?
Ashwini.
Ashwini. So two good questions. One, the first one is pretty easy. What is the relationship of this text with Ashtavakra Gita? So there is a class of texts which are like Ashtavakra Gita, Avadhuta Gita, Ribhu Gita. There is a class of texts like this: Aparoksha Anubhuti, Vakya Vritti, Vedanta Sara, Drigdrishya Viveka, Panchadashi Prakarana Granthas. There is the fundamental texts, the Upanishads. Now you can think of it this way. They all tell you the same thing, by the way. All of them, they tell you the same thing. But the difference is this. The Upanishads are called Shruti. They are the foundation. Everything comes from them. This also comes from the Upanishad. Ashtavakra also comes from the Upanishad. Upanishad is meant for Shravana. You must hear it. It has to be taught and you must hear it. The other texts like these are more introductory and manana, I would say. They will take the teachings of the Upanishads and then build a system around it. Look how much of thinking has gone into this. And if more and more you think how elegant this structure is, this one sentence, how it has been developed. And there are texts which this is my point of view. I asked a classical Advaita master and he agreed. That there are texts like Ashtavakra which are Nididhyasana texts. So notice in Ashtavakra what is lacking, which is here, which is not in Ashtavakra, there is no attempt to argue out things. There are no theories there. There is only one thing, and one thing asserted 100 times, 1,000 times. You are Brahman. Nothing else. There is no student, there is student, but all of it. Janaka himself is enlightened and Ashtavakra is enlightened. So it's a dialogue where both are enjoying the enlightenment. And the talk is only of the highest. It doesn't compromise 1 inch also. Byram, in his translation of the Ashtavakra, Heart of Awareness, he says, when all the scriptures and all the philosophies of the world have had their say and fallen silent, Ashtavakra begins. Here, the words barely seem to come out of light out of radiance into words on the page, and no sooner they have touched the page, ink, they disappear back into the light they came from. What beautiful language he is saying. It's barely can be expressed. It's just the highest truth. So once you have understood this, one way of staying with it, he says here, stay with it till you become enlightened. One way of staying with it is reading Ashtavakra with meaning, not just emotionally, seeing that it's the truth. Every verse you read, it should say, that's the truth about me. Reading Avadhuta Gita and so on. So this is the distinction. So here it explains the meaning of Tat Tvam Asi. Ashtavakra doesn't bother to explain. You are limitless awareness. How? Why? Where? No explanation. If you want an explanation, go back to kindergarten again. Start there. This is a finished product in Ashtavakra. Then the second question is very important. I asked that question. We are devotional. We are given an Ishta Devata. The Guru gives us an Ishta mantra, teaches us how to meditate, visualize the deity, and we are devoted towards our Ishta Devata, to Thakur, Ma, Swamiji, and so on, or whichever deity you follow. Where is the relationship between this and I am Brahman? So, I asked this very question to Swami Nirmuktanandaji. I mentioned him yesterday. The Swami was 100 years old, and in Belur Math, I asked a question about enlightenment and all. So I asked this question also. Swami, what we study in Vedanta, I am pure consciousness, and what our gurus have given us, mantra, Ishta Devata, what's the relationship between them? How do I integrate this, make it more integrated spiritual thing? Otherwise I feel like I'm doing two things. So he said, don't you know what Sri Ramakrishna has said? So this Swami, he was very close to Swami Akhandananda, who was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And he had asked this question to Swami Akhandananda. Swami Akhandananda told him the answer which Sri Ramakrishna had given him. So Sri Ramakrishna had said, Jejar Ishto Shetar Atma. Your Ishta, whoever is your Ishta Devata, that is the Atman. So this whole mantra Ishta conception is basically imposing a name and form on that which is nameless and formless. Enables us to grasp it easily. Otherwise, this one, if you try to understand this, one may understand it, but then keeping your mind there is very difficult. The mind objectifies, wants to hold on to something. You give it something sattvic, spiritual to hold on, Ishta Devata, Ishta Mantra. Otherwise, it will hold on to the world. So that is the relationship. What's the relationship? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So can I, by Ishta Devata mantra and japa, without all this, can I attain the highest? Yes, you can. And this one, just by this, without Ishta Devata mantra and japa, can I attain the highest? Yes, but very difficult. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, Arjuna asks him, that can I do this? Which is easier? Krishna says, Klesho adhikastarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gati dukkham dehavat bhiravapyate. The difficulty, both will lead you to the same goal, but the difficulty is far more for those who are attached to the unmanifest, to pure being or pure awareness. For the path is more difficult for those who are embodied. Now, embodied, everybody is embodied. Even the enlightened person is embodied. Embodied means those who think, I am this body mind. If I hold on too strongly to this body mind, this is directly contradictory to that. It asks me to give up that embodiment from the get-go. Whereas what the Ishta Devata mantra, devotion, bhakti, what it does is, it weakens the hold of the body mind on me. And you are easily set free.
More like a supplement or vitamins that we take.
Yes. No. This is mainstream actually.
Okay.
That is a supplement to this. So the wise thing to do is, yes, this is the truth. It's good to attend this retreat and know that this is the truth. Good to receive the teaching which we are going to give and stay with it. But as he himself said, with the proper qualification, stay with it. So with the proper qualification would mean sadhana. Stay with it with sadhana. Without sadhana, one Advaita master told me, traditional Advaita master, he says, if you don't do sadhana, you will get the feeling after some time, I learned a really cool philosophy. But that's it. It doesn't make any difference to me. It's nice, I can read more books and enjoy it, but is your life qualitatively changing? No. Why isn't it changing? Because the initial conditions, the entry conditions haven't been satisfied. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, the gentleman there.
My name is Swami. Thank you for gracing
blessing us with your presence is not the way. I'm really here not for a question, but to ask a few rules. One is that you please bless us all that we may realize our true nature in this earth itself, and for ye to be with us every single day, walk with us on this path till we reach that state.
Yes. I pray to the Lord that it be so, and that's actually will be the ritual that we will do. We will invoke the help of Ishvara, of Bhagavan, to go on this path. Then next, tell us your name and.
And thank you so much for everything. It was really 2 good days, but I have a question at the end of
See, really 2 good days. That I knew there was a but coming.
There isn't a but. It was really enlightening and refreshing. Initially when we saw the name and could not recognize, it was a little hesitant. But
That's Anirban's fault. Baki everything.
okay, so the question is like, you said once he attains enlightenment, everything else kind of becomes immaterial, right? It's just the karma on the body till it goes away and he's liberated. Just like in a life cycle of a human being, different stages. What if he was not a good person before or in the middle life, and then he suddenly realized that he has time, he wants to study? Does that absolve everything that he's not done right? And because, whatever he did wrong, he didn't get to realize it till he's Brahman and he's like, What about the rest of the people who could have harmed or affected?
Their problem. But the thing is,
Where is the
no,
justice there?
yeah, so there's no justice there. What happens is this. First of all, not everybody can read. I'm maybe a demonic person and harming people left and right. Suddenly I decide, I have lots and lots of bad karma. The only way to escape is to become enlightened. Let me become enlightened, all my karma will be written off. Bad loans, written off. Won't work. That's the importance of ethical life. So first ethical life, purification of the mind, and then only spiritual life. You see the qualifications which are given at the beginning? Too much involvement with worldliness and then suddenly jumping to enlightenment, not possible. You can't make a big leap to enlightenment. So a person who has done a lot of negative things, wrong things in life, will have to work his way out of that pit. So it may take one lifetime, may take more. However, here is the grace, special grace of God, not part of this book, but in Bhakti, Krishna says that api ched sudurachara api, even a person who has done a lot of bad things, the moment that person decides that I will be a devotee and I will realize God, sadhureva samantavya, you should be taken as being a sadhu. Why? That guy was a naughty guy and a nasty guy until recently. Why should I immediately take him to be a sadhu? Samyak vyavasita hisa. He has properly resolved. Kshipram bhavati, very quickly. Dharmatma, he will become a good person very fast. Of course, that must be a genuine and consistent resolution. The story of, there are many such stories. The story of Angulimala, the terrible thug and dacoit who in the forest, the passers-by, he would rob and he would kill them and he would cut off their fingers and make a garland of fingers of people he had robbed and murdered. So when the Buddha was passing through, people told him, don't go in there, the terrible dacoit Angulimala is there. The Buddha didn't listen, he passed through that forest and the dacoit started chasing him. And the story goes, to his bewilderment, he couldn't catch the monk. The Buddha is walking ahead slowly and he was running to catch him and yet he couldn't catch him. So finally Angulimal shouted, "Oh monk, stop, stop." The Buddha said, I stopped long ago, Angulimala. When will you stop? It's that somehow transformed this terrible dacoit. He broke down and he wept and fell at the feet of the Buddha and he asked that, please save me, tell me what to do. He repented, he suffered for it, but he became a Buddhist monk and he became enlightened. From that to becoming enlightened. Yes, next.
Pranam Swamiji, and thank you very much. So gratitude to you for these 2 days. And yesterday morning when I came in, when I looked at you for the first time, I could not keep but smile, and that was out of that. Every day I see him smiling on my TV. Can we, or can, for Jivatma who acts with a reflected consciousness, if I can say so, because he's not acting with the absolute consciousness, what we call the consciousness. In that case, can we have some layers or grades of consciousness for the Jivatma, for the Jivas? And if the answer is no, there is no more question. But if the answer is yes, can you tell us a bit more about the shades or grades or levels of consciousness?
Well, no and yes. Are there grades, shades, varieties? Yes, there will be, depending upon the quality of the mind. See, the face is the same, but the reflections may vary. How can the same face have different reflections? Well, we all know, it depends on the mirror. A concave mirror will give one kind of a reflection. A convex mirror will give another kind. A dirty mirror will give one kind of reflection. A polished platinum mirror will give another kind of reflection. All of the same face. Similarly, the same consciousness reflected, and depending on the condition and the tone of the mind, it will give a different effect. So like the moon, recently we had the full moon, we have phases of the moon, and we have the darkness in the new moon, and yet it is the same sunlight. Sunlight is exactly the same, but you see the tremendous difference in effect at night of the new moon and the full moon. So if you call those grades of moonlight, you can say grades of consciousness, but that's not the term used in Vedanta. Those will be grades of mind. Effectively, there will be different grades, and there will definitely be different layers to it, different quality to it. There will be a sattvic mind, rajasic mind, tamasic mind. Not only that, layers of the mind going all the way from the completely conscious and alert mind to layers which are not yet evident to us, like the basement of a house. So all of that, but they all belong to the mind, not to consciousness.
Consciousness, there is like no yogic plan, yogic action plan to grow in consciousness or...
Right, when we say grow in consciousness, change of consciousness, refinement of consciousness, Advaita Vedanta would say all of that is mind. Should we do it? Certainly you should do it. Otherwise enlightenment is not possible. Enlightenment is possible in the mind. Ignorance is in the mind. Where are we doing all this? In the mind. Is a calm and focused mind necessary? Absolutely so. So restless mind won't work. A purified mind necessary? Yes. Without a purified mind, the mind will be restless. It won't grasp what is being taught. They say the highest kind of seeker, for that person the teaching Tattvamasi is enough. The next kind of seeker is the intellectual kind, for whom we think this is really high. I said this is the final word. This is a final word for a middling kind of teacher, of a student. A middling kind of student who needs to be convinced intellectually. The one before that, higher than that, will get it straight away, saying what is being said here. There is even this might be too tough for the next grade of students who need not only this teaching, but they also need teaching for concentration of mind, teaching for purification of mind. All those things are needed. Karma, upasana are needed.
Thank you. That
Thank you.
the addition of the word mental and mind or mental to the consciousness is really.
Yes, it explains things.
Pranam Maharaj, my name is Kapoli. We had 2 wonderful days, kind of lifetime experience. Thank you so much. My question is, you somewhat responded to questioning that where to start reading the scripture because there's so many information and knowledge. Is there a systematic approach? And secondly, you mentioned that we need to do the sadhana, otherwise you may be becoming an intellectual professor who knows a lot. For householder, what can be sadhana in a simplistic way?
The sadhana, as far sadhana means spiritual practice. Sadhana is at the level of karma, at the level of upasana, at the level of jnana. Look, the Veda is divided into 3 parts. Karma, upasana, jnana. Karma means ritual or action. Upasana means worship or meditation. Jnana means knowledge. This is jnana. This is knowledge. But at the level of upasana, please take mantra diksha and do regular mantra japa morning and evening. Take it from a guru and do mantra diksha and do japa morning and evening. Also, at the level of karma, our ritualistic karma and our worldly karma. In Sanskrit, Vaidika Laukikascha. What is our ritualistic karma? The puja. Have a little bit of a ritual in your life. Not too much. People go to extremes. I don't believe in all that. So you don't believe in all that, but you believe in, all week long earning money, all weekend long partying. But a little puja, few flowers and incense offered to Ishvara, that rankles you. No, that's superstitious. This is gross materialism. So, little ritual in our life. And the other extreme is too much. Especially Hindus are susceptible to this. In our, many of our puja, ladies especially, let me, our puja rooms, it's an emporium, museum. As many gods and goddesses, wherever they are found, they say, in Bengali they say, Nudi, Gudi, Pathor, jekhan theke, you pick it all up and bring it to your puja room, and then it becomes a tension. Will this god be upset? Will that god? Remember, they are all the same deity in different names and forms, and nobody is going to be upset with you. It's all there as a technology to help you for enlightenment. So that should be minimized. So minimize, Swami, then I've got so many, should I throw them out? No. Keep them, but have one Ishta Devata and focus your puja there and bow down to all of them. That's it. So there should be some ritualistic puja in the house, some kind should be there. And also the Laukika, the worldly activities, in the job, in the school, in the kitchen, in when you are vacuuming, mowing the lawn, all worldly activities. You can do it as an offering to God, Ishvara. Just keep Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. This, oh Lord, this is the battlefield you put me on. And I am fighting this battle as an offering to you. This is the sadhana. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga and dhyana yoga. On top of that, this is there. And don't make so much of a distinction between householder and sannyasi. Remember, Bhagavad Gita, standard text of Advaita Vedanta. Teacher Krishna, householder. A student Arjuna, householder. Before the Gita, householder. After the Gita, also householder. Both became Brahmagyanis. I mean, Krishna of course is Brahmagyani and the Avatara. And Arjuna also becomes enlightened.
Pranam Maharaj, my name is Anveshna and I have 2 questions. But before that, I'd like to repeat what others have said. Thank you so much. We are blessed to have you with us. So my question, the first one is, when the universe goes back to its original stage, what causes the evolution to start and how consciousness is linked to it?
Yes.
Whether it is linked to it or not, and if yes, then how?
So cosmologists will be horrified. The very question which they are trying to answer with decades and decades of research, with what is there in the CERN super collider and all of that, and what's it called? The new James Webb telescope. All of that, the answer you want it right now. All right, let me give you the story from the Vedanta side. All of this is for the goal of enlightenment. The jivas have, from beginningless past, have ignorance, and under the ignorance, spell of ignorance, we are going through life after life, piling up more and more karma. And Ishvara, God, is there to help us towards enlightenment, fulfillment. So God creates this universe, God gives us bodies and minds, and God gives us this samsara to work out the results of our karma and work our way towards enlightenment. At one time, this cosmic cycle comes to an end, everything is withdrawn by God into His power Maya. There, those who have not yet got enlightenment, those jivas, they will remain in a seed form, indistinguishable, but they are still there, a bit like our deep sleep. Deep sleep blank, there seems to be nothing, but everything is there. The same Anveshana will come out of deep sleep, all fired up and ready to go. So in deep sleep, when there was blank, but Anveshana was fully there in deep sleep. You know what Anveshana means? Yes, seeking, search. So in cosmic dissolution also, when the entire universe is absorbed back into Maya, Ishvara alone exists, but we who have not yet become enlightened, we still are there, and Ishvara will restart the universe again, switch it on again for our enlightenment. Then He will project stars and planets, and then life evolves, there will be bodies, then He will push us into those bodies, and then we work out our karma. But remember, I said the story. So is this true? No, not at all. Not at all. It's a story. You wanted an answer, it's an answer we could give to you. The fact is, from an Advaitic perspective, Gaudapada says, Na nirodho na chotpatti. There is no cessation of the universe because there is no beginning of the universe. But what about us? We are all, you just said, all bound souls, we will be enlightened, we will be released, Ishvara is na baddho, there is no bound soul. But we are all doing spiritual practices to get enlightenment. Nacha sadhaka. Nobody is doing any spiritual practice. This is mostly true, of course, but anyway. Na mumukshu navai muktaha. There is nobody seeking liberation. Well, at least these enlightened people are there. You just talked about them. Jivan mukta, enlightened people, masters. You, Gaudapada, who are telling us this, you are there at least, enlightened being. Na mukta, there is nobody who is enlightened. What are you saying? Ityesha paramarthata. This is the ultimate truth. Mandukya Karika. I've given a talk on this, the ultimate truth. Look it up. Yeah. What does this mean? That it just means Brahman is the only reality there is. Oh, there's still a question.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get the second one. So how can we be conscious of our or one's surrounding and not be a part of it?
Yeah. I'll give you two answers to this. One is from the perspective of this knowledge. Conscious of surroundings and not part of it. Notice, from this perspective, there is no such thing as surroundings. All of it is nothing but you. It's your radiance which is appearing as this universe and all the good and bad in it. And it's an appearance. It's an appearance, it's Maya. From that perspective, there is no surroundings at all. You are always apart from it because there is no it at all. There is only one reality, which is you. That might sound too abstract and too theoretical, but that's the fact actually. Think about a dream. If somebody in the dream says, I'm surrounded by a mess, so many people being nasty to me, please teach me how I can remain apart from all these people. What would your answer be? Wake up. If you cannot wake up, you have to be in the middle of the dream, what would your answer be? Well, they are all part of you. They are all your appearance. There is no question of being apart from them or no question of being within them. They are all appearing, they are you only. Swami Vivekananda said, let all visions cease. That means wake up. Or if you cannot, dream but better dreams, which are eternal love and service free. Very high ideal, but it's a beautiful life. All right, that will be the last question now.
There's a question.
Just three more.
Okay, just three more.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Okay, directly to the question. So, reading books like the Advaita Vedanta, which talk about the Paramarthika level, they say that there is no creation, there is no janma, there is, as you said, no creation, no sadhaka, etc. But looking at the word from a Vyavharika level, the explanation given is that there is a janma, like there is a punarjanma. If you don't achieve the goal in this life, you will be born again in better circumstances and you will achieve it in that life. So I'm not able to reconcile these points of view. So could it be that there is no punarjanma? Because it seems to me to be an article of faith, to believe in reincarnation. Could it be that there is just one life and you just get one shot at realizing that you are Brahman? Because if not, it doesn't really matter to Brahman anyway, because Brahman is distinct from the world anyway.
Yeah, so one life or many lives. Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they talk about one life. All the Indic faiths, Hinduism, all sorts of Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Sikhs, they talk about many lives. One life or many life. Materialists, they'll say only one life, there's nothing beyond this. No heaven, hell, enlightenment, nothing. Just your matter. What does the Advaitin say? So the answers are very clear. If you are a Hindu, many lives. Straightforward. If you are a non-dualist, Advaitin, the answer is very interesting. One of our monks, he had this question. It was in Uttarkashi, I remember. He got a bee in his bonnet. One life or many lives? Then he had his theories about it, and he bored the rest of the monks in the ashram no end. Finally, they were irritated with him. Nobody would engage him in his arguments. So he took his whole argument outside. He was a great teacher of non-dualism in a nearby ashram. Great master. So our monk, he told me the whole story. He said, I went to him and I said, you have to speak in Hindi. So Mahatma ji, ek janma ya bahu janmavad? Punarjanma, ek janma ya punarjanma? Then that sadhu said, अरे महात्मा जी, जब जन्म ही नहीं तो पुनर्जन्म काहे का, आप मांडुक्य पढ़िए. Where there is no birth, where is the question of rebirth? It's not even one life. From an Advaitic perspective, there is not even one life. See, if you are dreaming, is it one life or many lives? Neither. Not many lives nor one life. It's an appearance in a constant reality. Constant reality is that one consciousness which you are. So he says, Mandukya Padi. If you go with this question to Ramana Maharshi, what would he say? Is this one life or many life? He said, find out who is asking, you will answer, you will get the answer. or you will see the question doesn't matter anyway. Tum hi sach. You are the truth.
Maharaj, thank you very much.
Please ask the question. Keep the mic pointed towards your face.
My question is
Tell us your name.
Mintu Bose. My question is, after this session, would I be I feel like I'm a Brahman, and thank you for that. And would I be a kinder and more compassionate person?
You tell me, if I am Brahman, if I am one reality in which everything appears, that other person is not different from me, then I, that one Brahman, in this name and form as Mintu Bose, how would I relate to Mr. or Mrs. X and Y? That they are me, I alone, not brother or sister, not friend. They literally they are one with me. Just as I would relate to myself, you would be the greatest well-wisher of everybody. But how would you act? Inside would be complete kindness. Somewhere it requires kindness, somewhere the expression of kindness is sternness. You will see what works where. Practical life, you will be skillful how to handle people so that for their best. You have no more personal angle to it. Like you will be like Vivekananda says, he then no more how body lives or goes, its task is done, let Maya float it down, let karma float it down. And then go thou from place to place and help them out of Maya's veil. So you will help people and you will guide them towards the reality. All right, we'll cap it there.
Pranam Maharaj, this is Shamba. I have a question. Like I heard from Kathamrita and also in this from this discussion that ultimately we have to seek for consciousness, and then the Brahman. That's the ultimate goal. Like you have to go for that. But as a parent, like when we are teaching to the children, they have to go with the worldly goal, right? How can we do that? Like how can you teach them?
There is no contradiction at all. In Hinduism, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharma, moral, ethical life. Then the pursuit of worldly goals. Kama is pleasure. Artha is wealth and prosperity and success. And so dharma, artha, kama. A meritorious life, ethical, good life, and you pursue your worldly goals. This is good enough for the vast majority. Once when spiritual seeking comes, then only Vedanta kicks into action. So we are not a proselytizing religion. Everybody has to come here, everybody has to believe. Vedanta is very patient that way. Vedanta depends upon whether you want it or not. Notice how it starts. The student comes and asks a question. The guru doesn't go out handing out leaflets, pamphlets in the road. No, Vedanta doesn't work that way. That's another kind of religious activity. But this is not Vedanta. So Vedanta needs you to be interested. Then Bhagavad Gita. Notice, as long as Arjuna is speaking, he is complaining, grumbling, Krishna doesn't say anything. The first thing you read about Krishna is he is smiling. Prahasanniva. As if smiling. With a little smile on his lips, he is waiting. Only when Arjuna says, I am confused, can you help me? Then Krishna starts to speak. So, inquiry is important. Before that inquiry, as a parent, you can give this knowledge. Here are Swami Vivekananda's books. Here is Vedanta. Here is the Gita. Here are the teachings of the world religions. all good and great, then don't push anymore. One thing that I've seen everywhere is the mom enthusiasm. I like it, Vedanta is great. What do you do next? Meditation, study? No. Get the kids here. It won't work. It didn't work for us when we were their age. But it works for us when our own questioning arises. So does that mean we won't give anything to them? Of course not. You must. All of this can be handed over. And I have heard so many, especially young people from India, one common complaint I have heard. All this was there. Why were we not told anything at all? Why did we have to wait till this time? So there is definitely a lacuna in our education system. We think all this is religion, spirituality, and need not be given there. It has to be given. Will it take? In Hindi they say, pachega kya? Will it be digested? That will depend on the maturity of the hearer. But it will do good. Now it can remain just as a kind of background awareness, or such a thing is there. But right now I want to go to Wall Street and become a millionaire. I don't want to become enlightened. I won't tell the name. In India, there's this lady, she's a very powerful politician. Even now she's in politics, so I won't take the name. And this was Bihar in those days. So this lady, she took mantra diksha from one of our senior monks, who became the president of our order. From him, she took mantra diksha. So one day she came, her children used to study in the ashram where I was. So she came, and the Swami in charge of the ashram asked her, just out of casual, as a well-wisher, "Ma'am, are you doing the japa?" And look at her answer. She said, "अरे नहीं स्वामी जी, हम जो अभी करते हैं ना, उसमें वो दोनों एक साथ नहीं चलता है. रिटायर करेंगे, उसके बाद जप करेंगे." Swami, I don't do the japa, I don't repeat the mantra. Because the things I have to do in politics, the two things don't go well together. She's honest. She's honest. Yeah. So when I retired from politics, she still hasn't retired. When I retired from, she's like literally way up there, so I'm not going to take her name. I remember in those days she used to go, typical tough lady, and her handbag. The unique thing about the handbag was she had a gun in the handbag, which is, I know, not a big deal in Texas. Everybody has a gun in their handbag, but it's a big deal in India. And how did I know that? One day she came to the Swami, I was a newcomer. She was complaining. She said, "Oh, I went to the temple. There's a big temple there, Shiva temple, it's famous there, Baidyanath Dham. I went there and my handbag was stolen." And the Swami said, "Oh, there was a lot of money in it. Did you lose a lot of money?" And her answer was, "पैसे का कौन फिकर करता है स्वामी जी, मेरा बंदूक था ना उसमें." Who worries about a little bit of money? And that I can lose, but I lost my gun, it's in there. Then I realized, oh, she goes around with a gun. She is not somebody to be messed with. Point being, all of that doesn't work unless you really want it. But you can still give it to the children and let them have it. No, you have to give it to them. You have to transmit it to them and then have a hands-off approach. Don't push. The problem with moms is they keep pushing until the kids revolt. Until the kids revolt. It's counterproductive. You don't realize it's counterproductive. No, really, I'm serious. I've seen many such cases. This is the sad thing about it, the mom is your greatest well-wisher. The kid is just had enough with his mom. Because it's too much for the kid at that age. It's basically the mother's immaturity. So you have to give it to the children and then leave it. And let them. God is there. God is taking care of us. God will take care of the children also. Okay.
I have to take forgiveness from you.
Huh.
Just two more questions.
Okay, quick.
Namaste Maharaj. My name is Sharmila Majumdar. I had two questions, but you have explained them very well. The questions were who am I and what I am. And you were explaining that so much. I'm overwhelmed with all the information. Just now I want to say that deepest gratitude and thanks to you for coming here in Calgary and spreading the light of spirituality in a so profound way. Thank you so much. My deepest gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the last.
Pranam Maharaj, my name is Orko. I think Kapiluri already asked this question. There are so many books on Vedanta, Is there any recommended sequence?
Yes. First and foremost, if only one book you have to read, Bhagavad Gita. With the commentary of Shankaracharya, if you have time, with the commentary of Shankaracharya, first start with the commentary of Sridhar Swami, with the commentary of Shankaracharya, and with the commentary of Madhusudan Saraswati. English translations are available for all of them. Easily so in our Ramakrishna Mission publications. If you have no time for all of that, at least the original Bhagavad Gita. Just the original. Swami Sarvapriyananda's translation is pretty simple. If you don't want the classical commentaries, you want a modern commentary, I can do no better than to recommend Swami Ranganathananda's 3-volume English commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Very rational, very modern, very up to date. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita. If more you want, then Upanishads. The 8 Upanishads with the commentaries of Shankaracharya. All English translations are available. Brahma Sutras, just to round up things complete, you don't have to read all 555 sutras with the commentary of Shankaracharya. If you read 4, for us monks also it's recommended before you become a monk, you must read at least the first 4 sutras. Chatus Sutri, first 4 sutras with the commentary of Shankaracharya. Then these texts. Let me give you a few. Vedanta Sara first. Then Drigdrishya Viveka, Aparoksha Anubhuti, Vakya Vritti, Atma Bodha, among the bigger ones, Viveka Chudamani, Panchadashi. And if you are brave enough, go a little further, Upadesha Sahasri. Upadeshas, all translations are available. Upadesha Sahasri, Naishkarmya Siddhi. The last 2 are advanced. Upadesha Sahasri, Naishkarmya Siddhi. This is far more than enough. This is all the traditional Advaita Vedanta. Of course, one should read Swami Vivekananda's Jnana Yoga for Advaita Vedanta. And I would specially recommend any of the writings of Swami Ashokananda. That's what I read as a kid before I became a monk. I think it's one of the reasons which drove me to take Mantra Diksha and become a monk. Swami Ashokananda, Vedanta Society of Northern California. So many of his books are available. He's a very powerful non-dualist. And if you are brave, if you are the highly hyper-intellectual type, then there are these advanced texts, which are 3 are there. They are the most advanced text in Advaita literature. Khandana Khanda Khadya, Chit Sukhi Advaita Siddhi. Enlightenment. You don't get a better grade of Brahman if you say, I have completed the whole course. No. The Brahman you get from this is exactly the same. Somebody said, better not get into those texts. Somebody called them that they are brain fryers. They'll fry your brain if you get into them. Yeah. But they are basically the dialectical texts. That means when you are attacked by opposing points of view. How do you respond to that? So those texts are responses to attacks from other philosophers.
We will end with a comment from Dr. Esha Raichaudhuri, who is on the Zoom link here. She asked a question yesterday, but she got the answer today. So you just said that the question was, even if traits do not define a substance, they do impact the awareness of the substance. Is this a correct understanding? This is from the challenges of householders.
If what does not define a substance?
If traits do not define a substance, they do impact the awareness of the substance.
Right.
Is this a correct understanding?
From this, I understand that she is asking the characteristics in the mind. They do not affect Brahman, our real nature, but they will affect our understanding, our realization of Brahman. Is this true? Yes, obviously true. That's why purification of mind is necessary.
So she actually answers this today morning. Now on learning about the two paradigms of God approach and your approach, I think my question and you approach that you said today morning, my question I sent you earlier is already addressed.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now just a ritualistic transmission of the knowledge. I'll tell you what's going to happen now. We will offer salutations to Guru. I will tell you the mantras, explain them, not explain, just translate, no explanation. You will see how interesting, how it's connected to what we did now. And then we will salute Shankaracharya, because of whose grace we will salute and ask for his blessings. We will salute Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharada Devi and Swami Vivekananda, ask for their blessings. Then I will give you the teaching. The teaching is just Tattvamasi. So you will listen attentively to me. I will tell you Tattvamasi. You will say from, with all attention and calmness and inwardness, you will say Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. So literally, I am, with the background invoking the presence of Guru, Shankaracharya, Sri Ramakrishna, the Holy Mother Sharada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, in their presence, I am transmitting this highest central teaching of the most ancient spiritual knowledge in the world. Sort of the final peak, Himalayan peak of spirituality. I am transmitting to you, and you accept it. Your sign of acceptance is you say Aham Brahmasmi, which is another counterpart to this. I am Brahman. For those it's a reality, you're already enlightened, congratulations. If it's not a reality, it is that which points us towards the reality. We are walking on this path now. 3 times we will do this. Then we'll sit quietly in meditation for a few minutes, and then you will come in a queue this way, and this is bowing down to the teacher through whom this has been transmitted. We'll see in the stotra to the Guru, the hymn to the Guru, that the Guru is just like the mouthpiece. Brahman itself is giving the teaching to us. So you bow down to the Guru, you can just do like this or bow down like this, and so those who want to, I don't like this touching the feet business, but it's customary. So I'll sit here. If you can come, and if you want to touch the feet here, you can do that, or you can just pass by here, bow down, and make an offering, cash or check or whatever, something. What is the Vedanta Society of Calgary? Vedanta Society of Calgary. You make it out to Vedanta Society of Calgary, some kind of offering. You can't give firewood here and create a fire hazard. So you make an offering there and go back and sit in this chair. All right. Now, and if you don't want to take part in the ritual, you are free to just sit and observe. It's up to you. So this is from the Guru Gita. Let's sit in a relaxed way. We'll keep silence. Yeah. We'll keep silence. Don't talk. Be by yourself. Yeah. This is the transmission. I'll tell you what we are going to do, then we'll do it. Then again I'll tell you, and then we'll do it again. So the first shloka we will do is from the Guru Gita, and notice how directly it's relevant to this. The shloka is this: Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvam Asyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. I bow down to the true Guru. And see what is being said here. Who is this Guru? Brahmanandam. Non-dual bliss, Brahmananda. Paramasukhadam, the highest bliss, the highest happiness. Kevalam, one and only. Existence, consciousness, bliss, one and only. Jnanamurtim. So who is Guru? Oh, so I see this orange guy, Sarvapriyananda in the front. No, the Guru is knowledge, is consciousness. Jnanamurtim. Dvandvatitam, beyond all dualities of pleasure and pain, success and failure, and life and death. Beyond all dualities, the non-dual reality. Gagana sadrisham, vast as the sky, as a vast blue sky. Consciousness, existence, bliss. Tattvamasyadi lakshyam, that which is tattvamasi, that thou art. Lakshyam, the implied meaning of tattvamasi. You see literally what we did today. Tattvamasyadi lakshyam, the implied meaning of the sentence tattvamasi. Ekam, one. Nityam, eternal. Vimalam, pure, only consciousness. Achalam, without any change or movement. Where? Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam, the witness of my intellect. Consciousness which is lighting up my mind. Whose mind? Everybody's mind. Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam. Bhavatitam, beyond all existing things. What is beyond all existing things also, but yet exists? Existence itself. Triguna Rahitam. Now even Maya is beyond all existence things. But Maya is three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. This is beyond Maya. It is Brahman. So Triguna Rahitam, beyond Maya. Sadgurum Tam Namami. So it is Brahman alone I am saluting in the form of the Guru. Now we will chant. I'll chant, you will chant after me. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvam Asyadi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Ekam Nityam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. That Brahman is Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, all the deities, and appearing as Guru. That salutation we will do now. Om Gurur Vishnu Gurur Brahma Gururdevo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I salute that Guru who has removed the darkness of ignorance with knowledge, with the light of knowledge. Actually, the verse will go, Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Now, it's not a literal translation. I don't know how to translate. Those who are Hindus, especially from Bengal, you will understand. Kajal, Jnananjana Shalakaya. When you make the image of the deity, they draw the eyes of the deity, as if opening the eyes. Kajal, they put the kajal there. So now knowledge is compared to that. In English, it's called collyrium. Knowledge is compared to that stick of collyrium. Will you draw the eye like an eyeshadow or like this? So as if you are giving the light of knowledge to the eyes. That Guru I salute, who has removed the darkness of ignorance. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The last salutation to the Guru. It's not a personal affair. The Lord I am saluting is the Lord of the universe. The Guru I am saluting is the Guru to the universe. My own self is the self of the universe. I am one with the universe. Mannatha Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Mannatha Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Now we must salute Adi Shankaracharya, who 1400 years ago gave us this, transmitted this wonderful Upanishadic knowledge which we are getting here in 2022 in Calgary. So we salute, we invoke his presence and his blessings. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Now we salute the Lord in the form of Avatar Sri Ramakrishna. Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Now we will salute Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, and remember, she is the embodiment of knowledge, especially this knowledge. So her blessings, her presence is absolutely essential. Om Yathagni Dahika Shakti Ramakrishne Sthita Hiya Sarva Vidya Swarupam Tam Saradam Pranamamyaham. Now salutation to Swami Vivekananda, who made all this possible. Om Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchid Sukha Swarupaya Swami Netapaharine. Now sit straight, not rigid, relaxed, straight, breathing normally. Breathing in and out, relaxed, breathing normally. Listen to the sounds here and outside, the highway, everywhere, the sounds, the wind, the cars, my voice. I am the one consciousness in which these sounds arise and float around and disappear. Listen. Just as these sounds come and go, I am that one awareness. Similarly, all sights, tastes, fragrances, touch, inputs of five senses come and go in this one consciousness. They arise in consciousness, float around in consciousness, disappear back into me, that consciousness. All thoughts arise there, good and bad. All memories arise and disappear back into that consciousness. The worlds arise and disappear in that consciousness. I am that consciousness. The teacher will tell me that you are, and I will affirm, I am Brahman. Relaxed, breathing normally. Now I will say to you, Tattvamasi, listen carefully with all the knowledge of the 2 days, this book behind you. With that focused attention, listen carefully, and then you will say, Aham Brahmasmi. Say it in Sanskrit, but remember the meaning, I am Brahman. We will do this 3 times. Listen. Tattvam asi. Tattvam asi. Tvam asi. Stay there. You have said Aham Brahmasmi, and I mean it. I am Brahman. From now on, this is we can do this much, that Aham Brahmasmi, I believe it. Ashtavakra sings, Shraddhasva tata Shraddhasva Matra Moham Kurushva Bho. Oh my child, even if you don't understand it, even if you are not enlightened, you have not realized it, this much you can do right away. Have Shraddha in this. This is being transmitted to you with all trust, sincerity, all sincerity. It's being transmitted to you. So take it in faith at least, that I am Brahman. Do not be deluded on this point. From now on, always know, at least in the core of our hearts, I am Brahman. I am the Absolute. One day, just living our lives, studying the non-dual texts, meditating upon them, doing our sadhana, meditation, prayer, karma yoga, one day it will become a fact. I will realize that I am Brahman, my life will be blessed. In the remaining days of the life, I will be a Jivan Mukta, and at the end of this body, I will be a Videha Mukta, free forever, attaining moksha, the goal of all life, of all creation, the purpose of it all. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.